We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to Mouthpiece, episode 160. Today we're going to talk about my week in poker. The World Series of Baseball coming up Friday. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, that fucking thing called an election. The Mouthpiece is next. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. All I do is pick losers, guys. You can get rich fucking checkering me. Oh boy, we're 2-4 and 1, 3-4 and 3-4 on our top three picks. But life is good. Let's go Dodgers. I agree, Steven. Yes, I am betting the Dodgers to win the World Series. Now I was going to go down to game 1 on Friday, but this fucking idiot Danny, this fucking guy assistant I have, where do you have to go? Where do you have to go?
Idaho.
He's got to go to fucking Idaho to be with his fucking daughter. So...
How does that stop me from you going?
Well, I can't leave the kiddies. They're just babies. So, I'm going to go to Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series. So, what we're going to do is we're going to run our... we're going to run probably the podcast again next Wednesday night. Could be Thursday, depending. And then I'm going to probably fly down to LAX and then go and meet somebody and go to Game 6 and Game 7. Yeah, I'm working on that, Melissa. It'll be done soon. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see. 8-1. Great 3 weeks. Yeah, it's been. You went on a sick part is I was 1-9 in Circa, and I had a chance, to win for last place for 4 weeks, which is worth $25,000. So I tried to lose, and I went 4-1. I went 4-1 in Circa last week. 4-1, trying to pick losers. I took all the bad lines. I took the Raiders plus 6.5. I took the Patriots plus 5.5. That was my only winner, the Jags. And I went 4-1 somehow. And my friends kept saying, just stick what you're doing, and maybe you'll pick all the losers. Anyways, yeah, I'll fly to Burbank probably. Whatever. I'll fly somewhere where somebody could pick me up. I did bet $16,700 to win $10,000 on the election. And then today, oh my God, guess what? Hey, Hitler's back. It's Hitler. We're so desperate. We're going to lose that John Kelly said he loved Hitler. Yeah, Hitler. It's Hitler. Oh, but we need to tone down the rhetoric because of the assassination attempts. They don't give a fuck. They're desperate. They're losing. They're fucking losing, and it ain't gonna be close. Trust me, it ain't gonna be close. Unless they cheat. That's all I have to say. It ain't gonna be close. So... Hitler! It's Hitler! He's Hitler! Sieg Heil! Hitler! 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 He's Hitler! She's a fucking cunt. I don't... C-U-N-T. You know what that spells? She's drawing dead. She's so phony. Everybody sees it. The only thing that bothers me is I have a lot of poker player friends that used to be on the left that are now voting for Trump, but they won't admit it. If you're gonna fucking vote for Trump, don't be a pussy. See, that's the thing. The polls are tied, but there's like a 4% vote that are afraid to tell people they're voting for Trump. And that's why it's not even close, because I could name 9 people right off the top that won't go public and say it. So Anyways, the Dodgers. Let's go back to the fucking World Series. Who's going to win? I hate the Yankees so much. I even bet on the Dodgers to win the World Series. But I really wanted to go to games 1 and 2 and then go to games 6 and 7. But the fucking tickets are $2,500 a pop. $2,500 a pop, guys. I don't have $10,000 to spend on tickets. I mean, I used to, but now I don't because I lose every bet in football. Ah! I think at $1,000 a bet, I think I've lost like, I don't know, like 12,000. Never win. It's amazing. Well, I don't know, Barry. Let's go to the last 2 weeks. The polls were off by 4 to 5% in every single state. So yeah, I'll just keep guessing that everybody I know that's voting for Trump doesn't want to submit it. But yeah, you can win with Ace Jack versus Queen twice, all the time. There are zero chance that Ohtani pitches in the series. Like zero. I mean, the guy's murdering the ball. Do you really believe they're going to let Ohtani, who hasn't pitched in over a year, just pitch? No. Nope. Okay, so I am going with my pick of the week, and I feel fucking confident in this one. And I should have took it last week, but the fucking Sharps love the other side. But here's a fucking... This is a stat I'm giving you. Ready? I took 3.5 in this game, by the way. I laid $1.20 for 2K. It's down to 3. 2.5 in some spots. Every single team that has faced the Detroit Lions this year, which is 6 teams, are 0-6 straight up and 0-6 ATS the following week. Got it? 0-5 because Dallas hasn't played yet. They had the week off. But Dallas wasn't really killed in that game. They were killed in that game, so they kind of gave up. So I'm not sure I would go against Dallas this week, but especially coming off the bye. I think it's a little bit too many points, but I think San Francisco wins. 0-5 straight up. 0-5 against the spread. So our pick of the week is the LA Rams tomorrow night, plus 3.5. Now it's 3, if you can still get 3. It's down to 2.5 in a lot of spots. That's my pick of the week. My number 2 pick of the week is Now remember, I'll probably win all 3 this week because I didn't study them that hard. I studied I couldn't go against that Detroit Lion fade on a short week. So, and that was a bloody game that the fucking Vikings lost. So I really like the Rams. And that's my top pick of the week. My second best pick of the week is I took 10 with the Cleveland Browns. Now, you're probably saying, how could I ever take any money with the Cleveland Browns? Blah, 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 blah. Well, last week, they lost by 7. Yeah, granted, it was a late backdoor touchdown. Jameis Winston's going to start. It's a short week for the Ravens. Short week, division game, getting 10. And I just don't know the Ravens' defense. Like, they give up. I mean, yeah, they were late scorers, but they still gave up 31 last week. And remember, and Vita Vea was out. If I knew Vea was out, we would have had the Ravens as our fucking top pick because he's their run stopper. So I'm going with Cleveland as my number 2 pick. My number 3 pick, I've gone back and forth on this. And I don't like laying favorites, but Carolina is going to be starting Bryce Young against that defense. And I'm debating on laying the 8.5 with Denver or taking 10 with the Raiders. Now, you probably say, well, how would you ever take the Raiders? Well, Kansas City blew their load last week against Frisco on the road to stay undefeated. Now they go to a division road game. And I just don't think they can be up for this game. Now, I know the Raiders clocked them late last year, but I don't know, man. I mean, their defense is great, but boy, their offense is shitty. So I'm going to go with Denver as my number 3. So number 1, the Rams tomorrow night. I took 3.5. You can get 3. Then Cleveland plus 10 against Baltimore is my number 2. And my number 3 is Denver against Carolina with a very close second, number 4, Vegas plus 10. These fucking road favorites are not going to, all these favorites are not going to continue to win in the NFL. So, I mean, I look like an idiot and Phil Hellmuth looks like a genius because he takes all 10 favorites every week. And he goes like 9-1 and like 8-2 the last 2 weeks and tells me how great he is. So, but reality's kind of come in sorely. I really, 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 really love the Rams tomorrow night. Well, that's not true. They got a couple offensive linemen back, they got the couple defensive guys back, which is why they played great defense last week. They get Cooper Kupp back, and I was on this game before the Sharps started pounding it. I mean, this game is, I don't even know if you can get 3. It's down to 2.5. It opened 3.5. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of was on this game before I knew the Sharps were on this game. So we'll see. Yeah, now that Bills game, I should have bet the first half because I knew the Bills were going to come flat. But I should have been up 17 to fucking nothing. Instead, it was 10-7. And then we got the shit kicked out of them. I mean, they got the shit kicked out of them. I lost last week 3 games. I was up 10-0. Tampa Bay, the Jets, and Titans. You know, when you're up 10-0 in the NFL, you're 82% to win the game. I never even got close to covering in any of them. So, anyways, bet my games at your own peril. I mean, we're like 0-8-1 the last 2 weeks. He's right. That's not good. But I do think this is going to change. You know, I'm a big proponent of teams coming flat in certain spots. You know, the 0-5 straight up against the spread up when you play Detroit the week before is just a big stat. And they were bloodied in that game. I mean, that was a bloody game. And they have to come back on 4 days. Cleveland, you know, they're terrible. But the Ravens, you know, road win, you know, short week, division opponent. Winston's going to start. Winston has to be can't be worse than Watson, right? So I took 10 there. And I don't like laying favorites, but Carolina is decimated by injuries. Decimated. And in Mile High, Bryce Young's going to play. I think laying the 8.5, 9, whatever it is I'm going to go with. I don't like laying favorites. And Kansas City has to come flat against the Raiders. I mean, I think you can bet the Raiders first half. I don't know. And plus 10, I'm not quite sure about. We'll see. So, like, before I even looked at injuries or anything, I took the Rams, Cleveland, Tennessee. Again, this is Detroit coming flat after the big win last week on the road. Tennessee's terrible. Atlanta, I mean, Tampa Bay's got nobody to throw to. I took Cincinnati, but I don't like them. I'm not sure. Eagles are pretty good. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll go 3-0 this week. Who knows? Let's see what else is going on. My week in poker. I have not played this week. Today's Wednesday, so we've only had 2 days. I plan to play tonight. I ended up playing last week on Saturday night, and I won like 10,300. So I won like 13,600 last week, which is good. Had to make up for my 1K sports bets that I lost every one of. Let's see. Yeah, so I really wanted to go to Game 1 of the World Series Friday, but I can't leave the babies. The babies are crazy. There they are. Hold on. Look at her. Oh, look at them too. I should get a video of them for everybody. They're literally in the living room. They chase each other around, and then they wrestle with each other. They jump on each other, and then they spin round and round. They're just like best friends. It's so funny. They just chase each other around the living room nonstop. And the funny thing is, my little 4-year-old Gizmo, the little runt rat, the guy who never came out for months, he comes out and he's best friends with them. He like hangs out with them all night. The other 3, look at them. The the other 3, they don't really like the kittens at all. And so, look what they're doing. They're so funny. These kittens are so funny. I can't even grab them now, guys. They're like, come here, Misty. Come here. Come here, baby. Good girl. Oh, you want some foodies? Oh, you want to come in here? Oh, she's like right in front of me now. Come here, baby. And she ran off. They're kittens. So, unfortunately, I was able to get the kittens the last couple of weeks, but no getting them now. They're like way too fast. Like I can't even catch them. Sometimes I grab them, but they're very hard. Yeah, Trump lied about them dogs and cats being eaten. Oh, big deal. They're lying. They're calling Trump Hitler. They're making up fucking crazy shit. Trump's Hitler. We're losing. Hitler. We're losing. Please, Hitler, please. What an embarrassment. Fucking Trump's the most pro-Jewish president in the history of our country. There will never be anybody more pro-Jewish than him. They're so fucking desperate and they're so sick. That's how I know they're losing. I just don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I told you they're not going to just hand power over to Trump. They're not going to just let him win, dude. That's the only thing about me making that bet is I know they're going to do. They're just. I don't know. Arnold Palmer 2028. That's pretty funny. Oh my God, that was one of the funniest things Trump said all week. Yeah, he's a racist, buddy. Yeah, sure, he's a racist. Yeah, did you see Le'Veon Bell? Go to Le'Veon Bell's Twitter today. That was like legendary. They might rig it. What they just passed a law. They talk about Trump, threat to democracy. They just passed a law in the Pentagon that said they could use lethal force with the military against U.S. citizens. That was the Democrats that passed that law, and they did it like 3 days ago. So why are they doing that unless they plan to steal the election and then there's outrage in the streets and then they kill? So now I'm starting to think, wow, maybe I did bet the wrong side. I don't even know why I bet it. I just know it's gonna get ugly. Yeah, I heard that. 13 days the Arizona won't have their vote counts for. And Pennsylvania said like 3 days. Well, of course. Every country in the civilized world has their votes tabulated in 6 hours. But whatever, this is really, really, really going to be... I told you it's going to get ugly. What's up, buddy? Hey, Pedro, how are you? No, Trump. I will never admit Trump lost in 2020, ever. Because I've seen the data. So,
It's true. You're right. Even dead people and illegals wouldn't vote for Kamala. I saw this guy's porch today on X, and it was the funniest sign ever. It says, "If I die, please don't let me vote Democrat." I started laughing so hard. It was really a funny. It was hanging over his porch. It was really funny. Let's see. No evidence. Yes. You say you have no evidence that Trump called somebody Hitler or whatever the fuck their fucking propaganda they're spreading today. Well, Michael, he's plugged into the Matrix because he's afraid to fucking leave the Matrix and find the truth. The only people that are still plugged into the Matrix are people that think they're right, but they don't go out and study and find the truth. So they're just happy with the media telling them what to say and what to think. If you're a free thinker, once you're a free thinker, it's gone. Like, it's 2024 now. In 2028, after Trump wins, and then Barry says to himself, "How does this 31-time felon, sexual predator, Hitler-loving guy win the presidency? There's no way. Maybe I should get outside my Matrix bubble and see what's going on." And then by 2028, he'll be on our side, and he'll be like, "Mike, I should have listened to you. You were right. I left my bubble finally, and it figured it out." It's so true. Once you leave your bubble, it's all over. I'm telling you, man, there's very, very, very famous poker players that would never vote for Trump that are voting for Trump. Very, very famous. Lots. Not one, not two. I can name like 6 that never, ever would ever vote for Trump. Why? Because they left their matrix, Michael, and they got unplugged, and they realized what's going on. And that is how you get unplugged. All right, well, let's see. Yeah, we've been talking for a long time. Let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. We'll talk the World Series, Dodgers, Yankees, NFL, poker, lots of poker, the election, the Democrats, the Democrats, and whatever you want to talk about. Oh, we're going to Trump's in cognitive decline, and he's Hitler. Yeah, he's in cognitive decline. He's doing only 4 or 5 rallies a day. Yeah, he's in cognitive decline, and he's Hitler. Just remember that he's Hitler. 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 What does that spell? Kamala. Oh no, it's Hitler. You guys are crazy. 329-0480. Give me a call, 702. Actually, he's really not saying stupid shit. He's actually staying on message, which is really great. I mean, the Arnold Palmer had a big dick was pretty funny. But you guys don't understand his what's it called? How funny he is. Like, you just don't even get it. It's all about how funny he is. It's just comedy. He's a comic.
Hitler, shut up, Barry. Hitler. Shut up, Barry.
All right, man. Listen, who wants to call? Let's talk about the fucking World Series. My Dodgers are going to kick the shit out of the Yankees. I'm not so sure. I think I think his parents loved him. I just think they left him out in the street to watch too much propaganda. What's up, buddy? Long time no see, Mr. Time Traveler. Oh, the McDonald's troll. Yeah, let's talk about that. That was one of the greatest political stunts in political history. I mean, and it's so funny. Then you have the libtards are going crazy. They're like, oh, Trump closed the McDonald's and he staged that he was working there. What a liar. Kamala closed a convenience store and bought Doritos. Kamala went down to the border and pretended she gave a fuck just for a photo op. It's called campaigning, you fucking idiots. God almighty. Dude, that was the greatest troll ever, dude. You know what I'm wondering? Is, so the people that came through the drive-thru, right? They have to be checked out, right? Like, they have to be, their car has to be completely searched, and before they even can drive through. So I'm sure they like picked 5 people that wanted to go, and then they searched their car and went through. But it was a really good troll. It's a really good troll. He's the master troller. At least he could say he worked at McDonald's now. Trump's not nuts. Yeah, he is nuts, but at least he's honest. He's not fake ass CF. Let's just call her CF. CF. What does that call? What does that spell? CF. She's the fakest person. Everything she does, she just repeats her rehearsed lines. She couldn't speak for herself on anything. And when she does, she sounds so fucking retarded that she's just fake. You have to listen, whether you like Trump or hate Trump, you have to be loved by the people to get elected. Okay? There is not one person that's voting for Kamala, that probably less than 1% that could say that they love Kamala. But I guarantee you there's 35% that would take a bullet for Trump, that love him, truly love him. And you can't win an election because just by hating the other side. You just can't. So that's all I have to say. Anyways, well, it's a Wednesday night. I guess we won't be running any podcast on Wednesday nights anymore. It's the lowest viewers we've had, and we've got nobody calling in, which is fine. I could just shoot the shit some more. I'm in a cult. Yeah, okay. So is the smartest, richest man in the world. He's in a cult also. So is Tulsi Gabbard. She's in a cult. Oh, so is RFK. Oh, wait. They were all far-left Democrats like 2 years ago. Oh, what happened? Oh, they came out of their... What do you call it? Your matrix bubble. One day, Barry will get out of his matrix bubble. Matrix bubble. Dun, 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 dun. My friends who are poker players, who are very left, anti-Trumpers, they got out of their matrix bubble. And they've apologized to me for being wrong. That's a good feeling. I'm not going to lie. When people thought you were fucking totally insane down the rabbit hole conspiracy theorist, and everything you said ends up being true, and now they're on your side, That's when you know you've done good in the world. That's when you know. Well, I'm just gonna go fucking play poker if you all motherfuckers don't want to call me and talk to me. But let's see. We are. What are we doing? We are. We're going to the game 6 and 7 of the World Series. If there's a game 6 and 7. I don't know how there won't be at least 6 games. So, as long as there's 6 games, I'll be at game 6 of the World Series. Oh, about time one of you motherfuckers call me. Welcome to Mouthpiece, Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Keith from Chicago.
What's going on, my
man? I
man?
caught your podcast for the first time tonight.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a poker player. Read your book, Check Raising the Devil.
Nice.
That was phenomenal.
Thanks,
I hope
buddy.
it gets made into a movie.
Well, we did I did a documentary on my life, which has most parts of that book in my documentary, and the only reason why it's not out yet is we're trying to get a better deal. But if we don't get a better deal, it'll be out. I could have it on Amazon Prime tomorrow, but we're trying to get a better deal, and we're working on somebody else on it. So when that comes out, I'll be the first one to let you guys know.
Yeah, that book was absolutely wild. There wasn't anything that I thought it was going to be, and I was absolutely fascinated.
Thanks, bro.
And yeah, you did a good job on that one. It's been a while since I read that book. I passed it to 2 other people. They go, "Wow, we never knew."
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I commend you for coming back and surviving.
Yeah.
What you went through.
It's not easy, you know. It hasn't been easy, but you know, it's and listen, the last 10 years have been 10 times harder than what was in that book, because I got this horrible injury where I was almost paralyzed and I lived life in really, really debilitating pain. But you know, you just fight through it and you move on to the next day, and you try and appreciate life as much as you can every day, man. That's all you can do.
Yeah, you know, I remember when I got out of high school in 1975, and I thought once I got out of high school, I got it made.
Yeah.
And you don't realize, now
You
I'm
don't know.
pushing 70.
You don't know nothing
Yeah.
till I didn't think. I mean, you don't know nothing till you're like in your 40s. Be honest with you.
Exactly. And you know, I talk to young people, and they go, you know, where do you get this knowledge? I says, you got to get old.
Yeah.
You've got to go through life, and you learn from your mistakes. And when you get, now I'm talking to kids that are like the college kids.
Yeah.
And I says, you've got to be my age where you get this wisdom, and you're going to say what my generation said. Like, if I would have known about this when I was 18 years old, I could have conquered the world.
Man, if I would have just known what I know now when I was 30 years old, I would have conquered the world. So, you know, just take it with a grain of salt and listen. I live a good life, man. I mean, I'm not making or losing 50,000 every day anymore, because I don't need to.
That's a crazy lifestyle. With me, I'm happily retired. I was lucky to retire when I was 55. I got bored, and I was always with real estate, and I always had a hobby of detailing cars. That's since I got my license in 73. That's 1973 for the youngsters out there.
Right.
Because I was the youngest family, and my older brothers used to leave like the hand-me-down car, requiring cleaning that even the EPA wouldn't even do a superfund.
Yeah.
And from there, I learned how to get the car cleaned up. I learned how to get the oil out of the vinyl, and parlaying it into a pretty successful auto detailing business. I was so busy I could not get out to the World Series of Poker this.
Yeah.
And Yeah, and I enjoy poker, but I tell you what, I like doing what I do because it's not work. For me, it's like, wow,
Right.
like being an. And the toughest part of the job is accepting payment because I really enjoy it and making it beautiful.
Yeah.
Listen, let's talk some football here.
Yeah. Who you like?
Okay. And I tell you what, let me get the paperwork out for Mike.
All right. We got a pro on here. I'm sure you could pick more winners than me.
Norman Chad can verify who I am, and Norman can also verify that I probably cost Doug Polk the most money ever in a Super Bowl pick.
Really?
Yeah.
How are you doing this? You're probably dying this year too with all these favorites the last 2 weeks, right?
I tell you what, I've been fortunate. I'm under 50%, but I'm not getting buried because I'll pick out a game like.
I've been the same. Like I've been like losing my top 3 picks, and then I bet my bottom picks, and I'm like going like 4 and 6 each week, or like 5 and 5. And so even though I'm losing my top 3 picks, and normally I only bet my top 3 picks, but because I lose every one of them, I'm like, well, can all these be wrong? And then I've come back and bet like my bottom picks, and then the baseball. And so I'm only like last week I lost a lot. Like I lost like 6,300, which is a lot for me. But now I've gone and I've won 3 straight bets. I had the Ravens over on Monday for 1,000. I had Arizona for 1,000, and then I had the Lakers last night. I just thought, honestly, I thought that after I watched the Knicks game and how much they struggled with the new players with Cat, I thought Minnesota would struggle with the chemistry where the Lakers have been together now for this will be their 3rd year. So I thought and I was right. They beat them pretty good easily. So I've won 3 straight bets actually, but I'm down. I'm down like I'd say. I mean, the last 3 weeks, probably 14K, which is a lot, especially when I only bet like 1K a game, sometimes 2. But
with me, I pretty much make all my $10. It's a $10 bet.
Yeah.
And I hit a parlay that paid off 80 to 1, and I had 2 games left. One was the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I said, hey, I just made $800 on $10. Rivers Casino, which is the sports book I use here in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
You know something?
When I go to Chicago, I go to Rivers Casino. My friends used to play there all the time, but now they're playing in their private rooms. They're not. They used to play every Friday night. They're the group of people I play with.
Yeah, the PLO game's pretty big over there. But yeah, more and more are going private in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
I don't blame them a bit. But getting back to the football, one of the guys that I handicap with, I work with, and he's also retired. He used to enter the old Hilton Super Contest, which became the Circa Contest.
Right.
And he's won it, and he's cashed like top 4, I think twice. So
nice.
he's got 3 times. Well, last year, he and I had the worst years ever. I mean, it's impossible to 5-0.
Last year I did really well. I was like, I think I ended up like on my top 2 picks. I was like 13-4 and like 12-5. And this year I've almost got as many losses in 7 weeks. Like somebody just write, oh, I lose because I picked shitty teams. Well, that's how you make money picking shitty teams, because the good teams are over. They've already built people betting them into the line. See, like when I was a real degenerate sports bettor, I used to bet like a square, like, oh, that team, they're gonna kill them, And like the last 2 weeks, all those good teams have just like they can't put a line big enough. You know what I'm saying? But it'll change because it's the NFL.
Yeah. Now, one of the guys that I handicapped with, we got murdered last year. I mean, I've never had 4 0-5 weeks. It's never happened.
Right.
My buddy had 3 of them, and he's in the circuit contest, and we're like, hey, has handicapping passed us by? What's going on here? Well, I end up picking up the NFL package where it allows you to rewatch the games,
Yeah.
and it is picked up. I've able to detect my games. I've already taken. God, I think it was week. When did I buy this ticket? Rivers, but I've got the Baltimore Ravens. I got 2 teams, one representing the NFL, one representing the AFC, and I got Minnesota representing the NFC at I think 12-1, and I got 100 on that.
Nice.
And I've got Baltimore. I think it's 7.5-1 representing the AFC.
Well,
and then I grabbed.
The only thing I might have done right is my preseason Super Bowl pick was Detroit against the Ravens, with Detroit winning the Super Bowl. Now, losing Hutchinson really hurts Detroit. I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl now. Can they still get there? Yeah. But can they win it? I don't think so.
I like Dan Campbell, but I see weaknesses last year that we saw with Campbell's coaching.
Yeah, even this year, the one that knocked me out of all my survivors against Tampa Bay was truly the worst coaching in history. I mean, he admitted that he gave the game away. Like the field goal before the half, he puts 12 men on the field, and the half runs out. We lose 3 points, and they were down 5, 3 straight times inside the 20. And if they kicked that field goal before the half, then they could have just kicked 3 or 4 more field goals instead of going for touchdowns.
You look at the playoff game.
Yeah.
We were reading his box, and we're going, he knows this isn't going to work. What the hell is he doing?
Yeah, well, he's getting better. He's getting better. I like him a lot, man.
You said he's getting better because over here, we did not like the Lions this week. Well, wait, I take that back.
How could you like the Lions this week? I mean, coming off the big road victory, laying 11.
No, let me correct that. The guy I do this with, the circuit guy, he had Minnesota. He had Detroit. I had Minnesota.
Right.
So we have a newsletter we send out, and I said, you know something? This thing's not going out because I don't know. And I hate going against this guy because he is the better handicapper of the 2 of us.
Yeah.
So I backed up. And all of a sudden, the Vikings take a 10-0 lead. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm right this week. Okay. Then the rest of the game happened.
I mean, they were dominated the rest of the game. I mean, my friend's a diehard Viking fan. He's all like, we should have won that game. I go, what are you talking about? Like, after it was 10-0, it was a complete mismatch. Like, Darnold sucks. Darnold, people are going to realize really soon that Darnold is not very good. They have a great defense, but Darnold is not very good. I mean, listen, it's like I said earlier, my pick of the week this week are the Rams. I took 3.5. It's down to 3. I mean, teams that have played Detroit the following week are 0-5 straight up and 0-5 against the spread this year. It's just kind of like when San Francisco, they're a very physical team. They lost a very physical game on 4 days rest, and I just think the Rams are the right side this week, even though the Rams scored 0 points on offense last week against the Raiders, and they still won the game. So we'll see what happens.
You like those accidental wins.
Yeah.
But
who you like this week? Give me a couple ticks and teams, and then we're going to go. I got to go get another call.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we're still working on them.
Yeah, I don't ever give out games on Wednesday because I normally do my podcast Friday. I normally study a lot of shit, but me studying hasn't done very good. So me throwing out like the Rams, I took the Rams, I took Cleveland, and I took Denver as a favorite. I never usually I just don't know how Carolina's going to score.
Carolina, I tell you what, that was one of my picks that I had. I said, this is a real good game. for Carolina's
Last week,
loss
right?
to-
You talking about last week?
I like Carolina.
Yeah, I love Carolina last week. It's one of my picks, and I never had a chance. They got destroyed. So
Now, what I do with my picks, I'll set up if such and such happens this week. Next week, I expect this team to come in and cover. And being from Chicago, we're watching our Bears over here.
yeah, this Bears game. Obviously, I'm only guessing that the Washington quarterback's not playing because there's no way the Bears could be 2.5 in this game.
Yeah, I grabbed them last week at getting 1.5 because I was expecting Carolina to win, and then pushed the number down, and I held off on that. And I regret it. But Washington, this is like last week when we put our newsletter out. We even had an editorial on it where this is the game that's going to determine Matt Eberflus, the coach's future, and perhaps.
Yeah, no, I had last week they played the Jags in London.
Yeah, we had them big.
Yeah, I had the Jags. I went with all the sharp money that moved the line 4 points. I had the Jags +2, and it went off at the Jags -2, and they never had a chance.
Yeah, that game. I tell you what. I'm going to put you on the email list. The email that you sent over, is that the one I can send this to you?
Yeah, you could just send it to, what's our email address?
Mouthpiece.podcast@gmail.com.
Mouthpiece.podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, mine's going to come in as Just Pro Football at Gmail.
Okay.
Who
do you like this week? I gotta get another call. Give me a couple games.
Okay. Right now, I'm still working on this. I had the Bears lined up 3 weeks ago, so I'm going to stick with the Bears, even though they're a favorite.
Okay.
But this week, I'm down the chalks. My sheet is all chalks here, with the exception of a couple of dogs.
Yeah.
And I hate going.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at mine right now. The only chalk I have is I have Green Bay because the Jaguars been in London for 2 weeks, and I don't know. I just think Green Bay is really good. And I have Atlanta because Tampa Bay has nobody to throw to, and they're coming off a loss. My other chalk is Denver, and then the rest, and then the other. I went Cincinnati small, but I'm not convinced I even have the right side there because the Eagles are pretty good. And then the rest I went with dogs. I actually took Washington, but only Washington as my 1, so my lowest rated pick. I have Vegas getting 10. Kansas City coming off the Frisco game. They just have to come flat, don't they? And let's see.
One way or the other.
Yeah, and then I just think I just think Carolina's just really bad, especially if Bryce Young starts. So
yeah, Denver's on Peyton. I remember him from his days with Parcells. They're going to go for the win on this one. Now, getting back to Cincinnati, then I got to go.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Bengals. They are getting it together.
They are. Their defense has got it together. Okay, which is so bad the first 5 weeks, but now their offense just. I mean, they've really take away I was going to lose that bet against the Giants when it was 10-7 and they broke it for a touchdown to get the cover, but they couldn't get a yard the whole game, and even versus Cleveland last week they couldn't get a yard. You know, you had they ran the kickoff back to lead by 7, then they scored the first drive of the second half to go up to get 14-6, and then they got another score, but their offense all of a sudden looks. I don't know. Joe Burrow's been getting beat up pretty big. So
I'll tell you what, the next 3 games, keep a close eye on Cincinnati.
This is a big game for them. This is a big game for them. You know, I had the Giants last week. I should have known the Eagles had Cincinnati. I didn't look that they had Cincinnati on deck, or I never would have took them. I didn't want to take them anyways. Anybody who's listening to the podcast heard me say, the Giants left tackle was out. And I originally had him as my top pick. Then I dropped him down to my 3rd pick. And, you know, when their left tackle's out, he got sacked 9 times. Every one of those sacks was off the left side, you know. So that was just too much to overcome, and that was on me. I should have never bet it.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to let you go.
All right.
Keep an eye on our show, and then on Saturday after 5 o'clock, I get my buddy texts me his circa picks,
Gotcha.
and I'll send them. Because we
All right.
do not catch up our picks. We do
Sounds
not talk about the hand.
All right, sounds good.
So, all right, Mike.
I appreciate
take
you
care.
calling, man.
Thanks.
Take care, man. Thank you.
What days do you have besides this day?
Normally we run the podcast on Fridays, but my friend who does my podcast, he's leaving town to go see his daughter tomorrow, so we run it. We have Wednesday night, but it's 99% of the time going to be Friday night. Now next week I'm going to Game 6 of the World Series, so we're probably going to have it either Wednesday or Thursday again, and then after that it'll be Friday, Saturday, the rest of the year, the rest of the season. So
Notification with Twitter, and I'll look out for it.
all right, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy. You got it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. 702-329-0480. Let's see. I'm really looking forward to the Dodgers winning the World Series. I know they're going to win, dude. Like Fernando Valenzuela dying yesterday just told. I mean, I was already going to vote, but Eric, you should vote. Don't say I'm not voting. Just go and vote for Trump. If you have kids, for sure, go vote for Trump. All right. So let's go Dodgers. I bet the Dodgers to win the series. I told my guy who I bet with if I could just bet the Dodgers to win the World Series. And
hold on, we do have another call.
okay. And that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm not going to bet any of the games. What's up?
Hello.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, Mike.
Hey, this is Rich. I'm calling from North Carolina.
North Carolina. What's going on, my man?
Not much. I was just watching. I had a question for you. And
Sure.
you ever think about like your alternative life, where somehow early on, you were in these poker companies when it was just starting.
Mhm.
If you would just got on the right investment, and then maybe through Phil or something, you got hooked up into one of those, all those juicy things that he's getting it line into.
Well,
There's a chance you could have had $100 million.
Al, I should have $100 million like 3 different times. But thanks for reminding me. No.
My question. Here's my question, though. You could talk about those stories, but like, do you think you would have survived it? Meaning,
Exactly. Dude, I talk about people on the podcast. We talk about it all. I talk about it all the time, right? It's like I easily should have had 100 million 3 different times, but would I be alive? I mean, give me 100 million. The cocaine, the real cocaine, might have been too much for me.
I mean, like, you look at the people with like money. It's like, I don't even know if that's even. Sometimes it like corrupts you so bad. I mean, like, you have so much money, you're Diddy.
Yeah.
It's like one girl's not
like
enough.
now,
you have to have
if
the 80-year-old midgets, and you have to start doing weird shit. It's like
if I had 100 million, like, let's say like everything I know today, and then I invested everything and I had 100 million, like, I would have a really good life because I'm pretty balanced now. I don't party. I don't do much, but
but back in the day, though,
correct.
That might have been.
I understand. Yeah. So if I was to come into $100 million now, like, I don't know what I would give it away. I'd fucking give 90% of it away to charity, and because you just don't need more than $10 million in the world. Two or three is probably enough.
Like once every day in your life that you can get Uber Eats to your house, it's like you can't. There's no like more rich than that. Like,
yeah, but
you got people doing their stuff. It's like
I got fat ordering DoorDash and Uber Eats. Now I'm getting a guy comes over and brings me 3 meals a day. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'd do like maybe twice a week or whatever.
Well, that's $12.99 a meal. So it cost me $39 a day for food. Instead, I was paying like $100 a day for DoorDash and Uber Eats. So
Right.
now I'm getting nice and healthy meals for $39 a day, and I don't know, it's pretty good.
Hey, are you playing the Win in any form?
I am. I'll be playing. I'll be playing the Win. I need to figure out how do I get involved. How do I get in into that $5 million free roll? But I'm sure somebody will get me in. Because I don't know how to do
I
it.
think
But
the way that there's you can sign up. I signed up through some WPT thing.
I'll
And you
just.
put, like, a
I'm
referral name.
good friends with the people who run the WPT, so I'm sure they'll give me a seat. I mean, they're giving Phil. They give all these other people a seat, so I'm sure they'll give me a seat. So.
Oh, last year was crazy with the how much money do you think out of the big Win tournament, like the 10K one?
Yeah.
Like every there's got anybody's got a podcast like the just for what do they call those Berkey's crew.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hyping it up, and a lot of people got buy-ins, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get a buy-in, but
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know.
Yes,
What
I'm gonna play the Prime one. It's like 1K. I'll probably fire 2 bullets. So
yeah. All right. Well, I'll probably see you at the. Come up and say hello to me if you see me at the Win.
all right, man.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, later. We got another caller.
Not lined up, no.
All right. Well, fuck all these people, man. But it is a Wednesday night, so I can't be mad that nobody was here to call me. And they're probably not calling me because all I do is give them 3 fucking losers in the NFL every week. 8-1 in the last 3 weeks. That's hard to do. We got somebody call. What's up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey. It's been a long time no talk. I've been watching, but I haven't been calling. It's just Drew from Texas, Houston area.
What's up, Drew? How you doing? Long time. Yeah.
I've been actually working, doing canvassing for the GOP in parts of Texas.
Nice. Nice.
So I was just making sure.
So you can't.
What
What do you feel? You feel like you don't feel we can lose, do you?
Well, I went back to my hometown because I'm not from this area, and I thought it was kind of going downhill because it's been taken advantage of. It's a coastal town.
Yeah.
And I did some canvassing over there, and I think we're going to turn out the vote. And we got a lot of Hispanic Republicans, and they're going to take office. We have a great mayor that is turning stuff around. I just didn't want it to become a shithole.
I saw a stat yesterday that was mind-boggling. That Trump has moved the Latino vote 27% in 1 month. Can that even be true?
Why wouldn't it be true?
Exactly. That's a good point. Why wouldn't it be true? You're 100% right.
Why wouldn't it be true? You have people who are from Christians, Catholics. You have that they believe in family. They believe in all this other stuff. Why would they buy into this Democrat thing? I've been telling people for years that they're trying to make us the new blacks, and nobody wants to do that. There's some places in Texas, like San Antonio,
right,
parts of Houston, parts of Dallas, where those people are gone. And the most disappointing is San Antonio because it's majority Hispanic community.
Correct.
But that place is so segmented by neighborhoods. If you're identifying by neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And you're always stuck in identity politics, right? So they're kind of like that. And
Well, that's the thing is they try now to push the identity politics, but everybody's already awake on it. Like everybody sees what they're doing.
Not in San Antonio.
No?
I've been working on this thing all year. San Antonio is hopeless.
I mean, think about what Kamala tried to pull. What was it, about 10 days ago? And she tried to.
Kamala. That's what they call her. Kamala, the bad one.
Yeah, well, she tried to pull the $1 million forgivable loans for blacks, and then she even says and we're gonna make pot legal. Like every black person smokes pot. Like think about that. Think how racist that was.
Or having some stupid broke down rapper hooker doing some twerking on stage.
I mean, are these people?
Or the story about her washing greens in a bathtub where people wash their ass. It's just like the person is a blithering idiot.
Idiot.
She took the opportunity. She's an opportunist, so they came the opportunity to coup her president.
Yeah.
And she did, because they came to the 25th Amendment thing without it get the vice president's consent, right? And they just Schumer, Pelosi, and that stupid Barry Soetoro. I refuse to call him Barack Obama. He's Barry Soetoro.
No, he's Barack Hussein Obama.
No, it's Barry Soetoro. He's a Malaysian billionaire who grew up in Malaysia, then Hawaii. He gets hundreds of millions of dollars a year from his stepfather's trust fund. It's out of Malaysia. It's practically untraceable. And he fooled the black people in 2000. And he fooled me too. That he's not.
He fooled me too. I didn't know anything about politics, and I liked him. That was before I
blame Hillary. I blame Hillary because she knew the truth.
Yeah.
Her and her campaign manager. She's ruthless. She knew that he's probably from Kenya. He's probably not even a U.S. citizen. He's not probably eligible. She knew his name was Barry Soetoro.
I honestly believe that he's probably not a U.S. citizen. But I don't believe that. I do not believe Michelle's a tranny, even though everybody else is.
I'm not on to that. I'm just saying that Hillary didn't do her job. She's known as being ruthless.
Well, the reason why she didn't do her job is they felt that they were a lock if they got the black man into the vote, right? And then
what they had,
but they guaranteed her.
They
guaranteed her she could have 2016, and so
no. Okay, let me just take it back to you. Her and her husband were in control of the Democratic Party since he had not been president, right?
Right.
Correct? At the time of 2008,
yeah,
her and her husband
were in control of the Democratic Party. Complete control. Correct. Okay? I agree. Yes.
She started running, and she was very unlikable, but maybe they could change that. She had some very unlikable qualities, which have bloomed. But she thought she could control Barry because her campaign manager became his chief of staff until the last 3 years when they changed over to that Muslim lady.
Yeah, I don't.
For 2 terms, so she cut a deal that he would back her after he did his 2 terms. Right? That was the deal.
That was the deal. Correct.
But she should have gone scorched earth and exposed him for being a fake black man who was raised born in Kenya and definitely raised in Malaysia, definitely raised in Hawaii, definitely a ward of a billionaire.
The truth of the matter is,
billionaire and not a brother from the hood.
The truth of the matter is every conspiracy theory that the left says.
That's not a conspiracy theory.
I know, but every one that they say that we made up always comes true. So everything you're saying could easily be true.
No, what I'm not saying is a conspiracy theory, and it was never considered conspiracy theory. They even went back and went to his high school.
My friend who has a big podcast, big political following, Wayne Allen Root, he went to Columbia the year that supposedly Barack Obama graduated, and everybody in his class, not one person had ever seen him. There's one
person who did see him. His girlfriend that he was leading on, the one he wrote all the letters about his gay lifestyle to.
Yeah, well, he's gay.
Those are real letters.
Oh, he's gay, dude. I know
letters.
That. Dude, yeah. But I mean, it is what it is.
So a gay Malaysian possible Muslim. All
right, well, let's not talk about Barack Obama, man. Let's talk about the fucking
temperature. I want to take your temperature because you inspired me because you were so glum, and I was always trying to be positive about the chances of the Republicans taking over here.
Well, I was glum because the reason why I was glum is I know that they fucking cheat. You know what I'm saying?
They got him.
But we're so far in front that I don't think they could steal enough votes to cheat. But I mean I don't know. I just know we're mild. All you have to do is look at how they're acting. Like even today,
I've seen it happen. Here because I've been canvassing areas that are because I'm Hispanic and other than San Antonio, where I've seen it flip, and I've seen this because I've been here my whole life. These are the people who were falling for that Beto O'Rourke bullshit with this motherfucking Irish guy from El Paso. His name was Robert. Was going past himself. He was brown facing himself and gave his name Beto. So I've seen the places where those signs were there, and they don't have Harris signs. They have, and there's. I'm not saying there's a bunch of Trump signs in these neighborhoods, but there are some where there wasn't before. But there aren't any Harris signs. There's more Trump signs in these Hispanic neighborhoods than there are any Harris signs, but not as many as those Beto. He really did pull one off.
Beto.
People, right?
Beto was the worst.
The only thing I'm afraid is that Ted Cruz is so unlikable. He's such a prick.
But I don't know why he's unlikable, dude. I know the guy very well. I think he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Because he doesn't come home enough.
You know, I mean, he's very truthful. He'll tell you how it is.
He doesn't come back here enough and talk to people.
Really?
He doesn't do it enough.
Yeah.
That's his failing as a senator. He has not come back here.
You're saying he spends more time in Washington than he does in Texas? Is that what you're saying?
Or when he comes here, he's not going to Hispanic community things and speaking Spanish that he speaks.
Gotcha.
And endearing himself. Like Trump will go to the black caucuses, right? And he'll take the heat.
You know, right? I'm gonna give Ted a call as soon as this podcast is over, and I'm gonna tell him what you told me. And I'll
tell him. He won't take the heat. He won't go into San Antonio and talk to all these people and take the heat from the people saying that he's an MFer. He won't do it. He will not do it, and he has never done it. And that's his failing. He could sit there and talk in their language, and he could speak completely in Spanish. He's fluent in Spanish, and he just needs to take the heat. He needs to go on local Univision in San Antonio, in Houston, in Dallas, and talk to the people and take the questions.
I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to give him a call tonight, either tonight or tomorrow.
2 weeks.
Well, I mean, but he's still up by 5 points, they say, and I don't.
Yeah, but it's kind of too late. He should have been doing this his whole senatorial career.
Well, that's just like it's just kind of like Trump, right? Like after he was almost assassinated, he was basically given the presidency, and he did all these stupid shit for months, right? Now. What? Now he's on message, which is really good, and she's.
Yeah, but what my point is that you could be an asshole, but be in the firing line. He was there. Trump never refused an interview from anybody.
That's true. He
never refused it.
And here's another thing, and this is a lot of people were saying, and these are people I follow that are really smart. They're like, why is Trump going on Joe Rogan Friday for 3 hours when he's up big in the polls? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the truth is like everything he says, they're gonna run with the left, and because she can never go on Joe Rogan. I mean,
if you really analyze what they go with, it's ineffective because he's talked about it. He said he has the weed. He doesn't give them clippable segments. The only thing they can do is say he said, maybe 4 words about a bloodbath, and that doesn't go. Or they could say, find people, right? It's only like 13 seconds. Or this latest one was about the enemy within, and it's only a 5-second clip.
Yeah.
People aren't that stupid. They know.
No, people.
So they cannot clip them.
We have a guy in our chat that's that stupid. We have a couple of them, but most people aren't that stupid.
There's a lot of people on the internet and people born before. After 1980 or 1990 who are complete morons. I know. I've been going around. I've been going around these neighborhoods, and I'm not going to call them morons in the face, and I'm not going to disrespect them, but I can see that they're complete morons out there.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's morons or it's just they're just stuck in their matrix bubble.
Moron in the way that Archie Bunker would call.
Speaking of Archie Bunker, have you seen those memes going around that were like putting Archie Bunker next to Kamala, and they're like, it's so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, because I grew up with Archie Bunker, and
the actor was super liberal. That actor was.
He was really liberal. See, I didn't know that.
Fuck yeah.
Because he was always making fun of the black people and the Hispanic people and the Jews.
Well, the actor and the character are two different things.
Right.
Any actor needs a gig, and even though the actor might be antithetical to what the character is,
what was his name?
They used to.
What was his name? Carol O'Connor? No, what was
Carol O'Connor was super liberal.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't know how liberal he would be. I don't know how liberal he'd be dead. The man's been dead for a while, so I don't know what.
Yeah, he's been dead since he died in like the late '90s, I think.
Yeah, so I don't know how he would be today. I don't know if he would.
Could you imagine that show today? I mean, look at Meathead. Meathead is Rob Reiner is the most anti-fucking Trump, crazy leftist liberal in the history of the world. You know?
I don't know what is. I don't think anybody's putting any kind of.
Have you ever seen Rob Reiner's fucking Twitter? Are you in? The guy's nuts.
Yeah, the most disgusting thing he did was that he was obviously like, you know, his father, the great Carl Reiner, who never said anything about politics his whole year, but you could tell that he was in decline, and so he decided to exploit his dad in his few years and make him become an anti-Trumper.
Oh, right? I didn't know that
before he passed away.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Well, I put it to that. Who is Carl Reiner's best? Who is Carl Reiner's best buddy?
I don't know.
They wrote it for the shows together.
Who is it?
Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Did you get the name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
he's old.
So is he out there doing any political stuff?
No, but is he a liberal too?
No. He might be, but he doesn't do that shit. Neither did Carl Reiner until the end, where his fucking little baby.
One thing I'll never understand is people that like take a political stance and like turn half their fans off. Like they they offend half the country. Like I just think it's crazy.
You do know that Carl Reiner has like 30% interest in the Seinfeld show.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his production company is the one that produced the show. He's got all that Seinfeld money. What does he care if he's not?
Hey, did you see Seinfeld doing some stand up like a week and a half ago, and the Palestinian fucking Jew haters were in there, and it was so funny. He's like, "Well, tell your bosses you're not doing a good job because you're making the Jew money by being here." It was so funny.
But his buddy, I mean, Larry David is totally a Trump hating guy. He's a total Trump hating guy.
Yeah, and his wife, or who plays his wife, Robert Kennedy, RFK's wife, you know, she totally backed.
She doesn't like Trump either, but she's down with.
Yeah, but she backed.
Him over.
Well, she backed him really big after when he came out in favor of Trump because she saw what they did to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this party has been corrupted ever since Barry Soetoro took it over.
Yeah, I was never political in 2015, so I don't know. You know, I just know that they're so corrupt, and the only way to fix politics in this country and to bring people together is to get the rot out of politics.
This Democratic Party was appropriated by the World Economic Forum.
Of course they are.
And it started with Bill Clinton.
Well,
he was the one who got the Chinese into the World Economic.
Just remember, COVID was released on the world for a reason, and they want the WEF wants to control the world, and
they've never been shy about what they say. They go there and they blatantly say what they want.
They can't control the world. They can't control the world if Trump's in office. So.
Yeah, but you cannot be the one I don't get is is these punk rock guys, like Jello Biafra, or these guys who are Green Day, or any of these old.
Well, they don't know shit. They don't know.
They're like, or what are they? First of all, if you're like, I'm talking about the older punk rock guys, they're like their mid 60s now, right? Like the guys in Jane Addictions, right? Yeah. And they're still trying to be like the man, but in their eyes growing up, it was always the Republicans, right? So they go, well, I better be with these Democrats. They're so surface level with their views. If they bother to look who's backing the Democratic Party has become the party of billionaires and the World Economic Forum.
Billionaires hate everything they accuse the GOP of is what they are. And luckily Elon figured it out because he voted for Biden in 2020, and now like he's really red.
You know who the most transparent billionaire is that flipped on Trump?
Who?
The most transparent one is Mark Cuban.
Well, I mean, Mark Cuban really never liked Trump. I don't know if you know, but in 2016, I was at Twitter war with him every day. Because, like, in 2016, I was still one of the most famous players in the world because that was like a year after my injury. And so, like, and me and him went at it. He hated, so it's like he acts like he liked Trump in 2016. He hated Trump in 2016.
And why didn't he campaign for Hillary Clinton?
He did. He was pro-Hillary, not like this.
Like he's doing
no, not like he's doing now. No, not at all.
But
you have to
why he's doing this
I
now.
do because he wants to be president. Okay, and he realized.
Okay.
What else is it? Originally, he said, "I'm a Republican."
Okay. I'll give it to you. If you look back into history, and it's ongoing right now, this litigation.
Okay.
You know how everybody got in this crypto stuff and this crypto exchange, and there's a couple of people that one young guy who was basically filtering money into the
guy is in jail. The guy who
but it was a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
Well, he was a principal investor into a crypto exchange that is later being accused of being a Ponzi scheme, and it was all sponsored on his. Because I'm in Texas, it was everywhere in his stadium. He was pushing this on his Twitter, and now.
So you think that if Trump goes into office that he's going to get arrested?
All I know is this: he's already come out and said he wants to be what? Secretary, Securities and Exchange Secretary, SEC. Wants to be head of the SEC.
Yeah.
Why does he want to be head of the SEC? So he doesn't get prosecuted by the SEC.
Like all these people that are coming out in favor of Kamala, all these rappers, they're all people that are on the Diddy list.
Let me put it. Who took down the poker, online poker? What agency took them down?
Well, I know exactly who took down. I know exactly who took down online poker.
What agency was it? It was the SEC, right?
But it happened because the World Series of Poker couldn't stand all the poker players making all the money, and they figured they took out.
The SEC is the one who took it down, right?
Correct.
The Securities and Exchange Commission. And what happened at the end of the day with Poker Stars? They ended up paying a fine. It was mostly a civil, and nobody got any criminal charges. But criminal charges could have been brought about your former CEO. Did he get criminal charges, or was it just? He's the only one who got criminal charges. It was like a slap in the hand. What was your former CEO of?
Oh, the piece of shit, Ray Batar.
But he's the only guy. Your buddies didn't get you. I don't know if you had ownership. Maybe you did.
No, I didn't.
I mean, the people who had ownership, they could have gone to jail. Okay.
Yeah.
But because he paid off, it was all a civil matter, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what deal they did, but so. Mark Cuban sold his company to the casino guy for billions of dollars so he can have a war chest so that if he does get it, he could pay off the SEC just like...
So you think that's why he sold the Mavericks to...
Yes!
Makes
he
sense.
needed a war chest to pay for fines. Possible fines.
Because it makes no... Because Miriam, his partner, the one who bought Miriam Adelson, is a huge Trump supporter. Huge. Like the biggest donator in Republican politics. And so she bought the Mavs 75%, and he's just all in on, and that, it makes sense because I couldn't figure out why is he all in against his partner who's all in for Trump.
He needed to have cash available to pay these fines off. What did Poker Stars have above all when that was going on? They had cash on hand.
Yes.
Because that man was trained by IBM, and IBM was, for decades, 100 years, was the creme de la creme of executives, and that man was trained by IBM. That's why Poker Stars I'm sorry, Batar, I guess an IBM executive, was not even a freaking match.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That guy's an IBM executive. He knew how to run a company. You had poker players running a company over there, and they did it. What do poker players do? You're a poker player. They were giving these loans out, these low interest loans, and they were playing with what they saw. They didn't see it as a company. They saw it as your what do you call it, your
they gave me money to play. They gave me money to
play.
play.
The entirety of the money as like a bankroll.
Yeah.
Right? And they treated it like a poker player's bankroll instead of like a corporation's, like that. And that's what did them in. And they had treated it, they had gotten a serious business trained guys that had raised the car.
Listen, once it got big, we were begging them to hire a CEO and pay him $5 million a year. Somebody that knows what they're doing instead of.
But they had already fucked up the book so much.
But they
treated it as like a bankroll.
I mean,
how many people were? What's his name? The other guy, the white guy. What's his name? The sports betting guy. He's coming back now. But how much did they lend him and his bad sports bets? Like he's just going to pay it back later.
Who's that?
Some kind of bankroll. Eric Lindgren. How many millions of dollars did they lay off on Eric Lindgren?
Well, what Eric Lindgren did, and Eric's a sicko, but he's a really good guy. He's just sick.
I'm saying he got a problem.
Well, he got transferred. He was paid $2 million cash, and he got transferred $2 million, and he didn't. Instead of calling and saying, "Hey, I already got paid," he took the double.
And he was part of the consortium that took over the billion, and there was a book about it.
Yeah.
And he was already, we burned through all that money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. But wasn't he part of the.
Listen,
the
I don't ever say anything bad about Eric Lindgren because Eric Lindgren would get $300,000 a month, and he would give $240,000 of it staking people in poker tournaments. So it's
that's what poker people do. They stake their
bankroll. But I mean, it wasn't like he was the type of guy that took lots of money and put it places like
but do you
other
agree with
people
me
did.
that the poker players who were running the thing and were owning it ran it like a bankroll instead of like a corporation?
They should have just hired a CEO once it got big.
From the start.
Yeah.
From the start.
Well, trusting Ray Bitar was a big mistake. That's for sure.
But they're the ones who did all the loans.
Well,
they approved the loans. They did all that shit.
Well, I mean, it's a long story.
And they're the ones who are trying to get everybody staked, right? They're trying to stake every freaking poker player.
I know the whole story, but it's a lot longer than what you're saying.
How many pros were that had a pro? I was log on. There's like 100 pros.
Yeah, I mean,
like, what are you doing?
Full Tilt was the best thing for the poker industry. They gave everybody like $35 an hour, plus gave them full Rakeback to be a Red Pro, and so every Red Pro could literally play like 4 or 5 $1 and $2 games and make themselves $20,000 a month.
You can't run a company like that.
You can't.
Limited thing. There had to be limitations.
You're wrong.
Never had that many people.
Well, that's if all the other companies. Right now, the poker economy that they think is so good is completely in the shitter because nobody has money. Nobody can get into any games. If you don't get in a private game, you're drawing dead. And tournament poker's for losers. So yeah, the tournament scene might be big because everybody's broke and looking to hit a score. But Full Tilt did a lot of good things for the poker economy. And pros were one of them. All right, man. I appreciate your call.
I think the guy from Cirque du Soleil did a lot more for the poker economy than that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call, dude. It was a lot of fun. See you next week. Give us a call.
Night.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. That was a very interesting call. There was a lot of things he said are true. A lot of things are, say, a little bit far out there.
Hello.
Oh, welcome to Mouthpiece, Mike.
Hey, Mikey. It's Gypsy Frank. What's happening?
What are you doing, buddy?
Not much, man. Just playing a little bit of poker online. What are you up to?
Wednesday evening. Danny's leaving to Idaho for the week tomorrow, so a little bit earlier podcast than normally. And
that's fine. Figure get it in while you can.
Maybe I'll pick winners this week since I can't pick a winner. I'm like 0-8-1 the last fucking 3 weeks.
That doesn't sound fun.
But I put my pick of the week as tomorrow, the Rams +3. I can't help but go against the teams that have placed Detroit this year are 0-5 straight up the following week and 0-5 against the spread. So that's a stat I can't go against. So we'll
I
see.
haven't watched a game this year, but I have a friend of mine that I grew up with that's a bookmaker in South Carolina.
He's getting killed, right?
And he's crying the blues.
Yeah.
He said the last
all the
2 weeks
bookmakers
he's
are
got
crying the
hammered.
blues. And then I'm in a chat with square pegs like Phil Hellmuth and Brandon Cantu and a couple others, and they think they're geniuses because they just pick every favorite and over for the last 2 weeks. I mean, 2 weeks ago was the biggest bloodbath in Vegas history. They had
Yes, every favorite and over. Absolutely.
10 road favorites won, and all 10 went over. I mean, just complete
Sickening.
bloodbath. I have a friend that's a bookie, and he is crying the blues too. The bookies always cry the blues. But, and I'm not a square anymore. I take dogs, I might have like one favorite a week, if that. And you can't win in sports taking favorites. It's funny, and then like one person in the chat says, "Oh, the reason why you're losing every game is you take shitty teams." You're never going to win in sports taking good teams. Okay, it's all about they overinflate the lines on all the good teams. Now,
How do
okay,
you think bookies make a fucking living?
yeah. So for 2 weeks, it's been all favorites and over, and does it shock me? Not really, because look at the first 4 weeks. It was all dogs and under. It was dogs and under the bookies fucking made a killing the first 4 weeks, right? And so now that had to change, okay? There was at one point 16 or 18 7-point favorites or bigger, and 16 of them won outright or something like that. 16-2 versus a spread and 12 winning outright. That's why everybody was knocked out of the Circus Survivor, and our Survivor ended on week 4. We had 186 people, and it was over week 4. We had to start a secondary Survivor.
That's ridiculous.
We started my friend chopped it for 45,000 2 ways the week that Seattle and Frisco both lost. They lost to the Giants, Seattle, and Frisco gave away the game to Arizona. And so they had to chop it 4 ways. And we had started a secondary one the week before because everybody was out but 4 people. And I fuck with them. I go, yeah, you guys got 45K, but now you guys are out of Survivor for the rest of the year. I still have 2 picks left. We're down to 71 out of 200. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I've never seen so many favorites. I have a friend, a very close friend, as a bookie, and I mean, he's crying. They're all crying, but it'll change.
My wife's little cousin, he's 21 years old. I follow him on Instagram, and he posted his FanDuel account. He turned 500 into 70,000 over a fucking weekend. A $500 4-teamer, and then they bet fucking player. I don't know how that works.
Dude, look at the guy I posted in my chat just now. Says he's 14 out of his last 15, and only 2 were dogs. And
there you go.
It's like, but this is really bad. Like somebody turns 500 into 70,000 because that 70,000 is gone if he doesn't invest it somewhere. Yeah, you can't win betting.
Yeah, he's a fucking kid. That's more money he's ever seen in his life. If he, continues betting, he'll give it all back.
I mean, I bet Phil 5,000 last week, and he was +5 that I would finish with more wins than him, and he picked up another 5 more last week. Now he's +10 because I went 3-7, and he went 8-2 again. But he picked 10. He picked 10 favorites. He picks 10 favorites every week.
That's pretty funny.
And
on another note, I've been grinding my ass off the last week and a half, and I crawled out of makeup finally in the green for the first time since the beginning of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, I won 16,000 playing 1-2 PLO in the last week and a half.
That's a lot.
I played a lot of no-limit tournaments. I probably won 8,500 playing $50 buy-ins and under.
Yeah.
Shit ton of volume, but that's plus a lot of rakeback. Also, I get 55% rakeback.
Yeah, I get like 50%
the majority of the clubs that I play in.
I get like 50% rakeback too. So the one I play in, but yeah,
it's super important.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I still do not have any Vivants. There's none in Las Vegas, so I've only played like 2 times.
Any what?
I take Vyvanse instead of like I got off.
Is that like that Adderall that
yeah, but
alternative?
But it doesn't have shit that whacks me out. So it was working so good for me, and now I don't have it, and it's really fucking frustrating. And it's been almost 3 weeks. They said they're not going to have it till the 24th. That's what, tomorrow? They've been out of it for...
You don't know anybody that... Oh, whatever. That's probably not something you want to talk about.
No, I mean, there's a guy who plays in my app game who played for like 2 days, and he has stayed up for 2 days playing on Vyvanse, and I'm like, well, now I know why I don't have any. You have it all.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's very frustrating. So hopefully I'll get some. But I think I'm going to play tonight. I don't know. I just haven't played much. So we'll see.
I understand. I've been I kind of been butting heads with my backer. He is he's a PLO player. He does not have a no limit background. So like I guess he started playing around 5 or 6 years ago and got coached starting to play PLO.
Right.
And he's been trying to fucking give me like no limit hold'em tournament advice, and it drives me motherfucking insane because he literally, like, not trying to sound full of myself or anything, but I forgot more than he fucking knows. And here he's like telling me to open 3 picks, blind versus blind, deep on the bubble, like literally has no idea what he's talking about, because what applies in PLO does not make sense in no limit hold'em.
Yeah. For sure.
Just super frustrating, but it's pretty funny sometimes how you see people think they're so behind in the race they think they're winning.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's like completely different, But it's I don't know. I gotta start playing some more poker, but I've really stuck to my guns. October, I used to call it the October Massacre, and every year I just don't play. And so I've played 3 times in 2 weeks, and I'm up like 19,000. And it's like...
You said something that it was because of like religious reasons.
Well, during the high holidays, there's Jewish high holidays during October usually. And they last around 20...
What is it, Yom Kippur?
Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and then Sukkot is afterwards. And it's like about 21 days of holidays. And I just always lost during high holidays and stuff. Even when it was the high holidays were done for the, it's just, I just listen. When you just lose during those times, you're afraid to play. So I'm ready to play, but I can't get motivated to play because my brain is kind of shut off. So I've got to get
showing you to have better reverence for him, like. I understand, like, during Yom Kippur, people are supposed to fast from, like, sun up to sundown.
Well, it's mistaken. Like, it's pretty funny. So, like, this guy, the quarterback of BYU is Jewish, right? And they had a game last week, and he wrote this long thing of why he's playing on Yom Kippur. And I'm like, don't tell me you're a fucking Jew and you're going to play on Yom Kippur, because of your teammates. Well, we know what's more important. Like Sandy Koufax refused to pitch in the playoffs during Yom Kippur, and like
I respect
that, and then like my best friend, like last year the Steelers were in town to visit the Raiders, and he went to the game. He's like, well, the game started before sundown. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, and Yom Kippur is after sundown, and you're at the game. It's like so I call him a fake Jew, my best friend. I really pick on him a lot.
I got you.
It's like don't, listen, I'm not the greatest Jew in the world, but if I can't 2 times a year for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur be a good Jew, then I might as well just kill myself.
Yeah, just hang it up.
If you can't fucking go out of the way for 2 times a year, then you don't deserve. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, why even call yourself a Jew if you're gonna do that? Like
me, I'm in a lot of pain, so I put the services on my big screen, and I just do my services from my bed pretty much, But I can't walk, so
I understand. There's a lot of UFC fighters that I follow that will not fight during Ramadan. I guess that are Muslim or whatever.
Right.
which I totally respect. I mean, I don't.
Dude, I totally
obviously
respect
agree.
it too. You know, I respect people. I respect all religions. I respect people that don't believe in God. I feel bad for people that don't believe in God. You know, I mean, and most of them are fucking on the left. You know, I feel bad for them, and I pray for them. But you know, you don't have to be religious to believe in God. You know what I mean? It's
For
just
sure.
like, you know, it's like I can't tell you how many times. Like the only time things were really bad in my life is when I lost belief in God, and that was after my injury. And for 5 years, I played the "Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me" from 2014 to 2019.
Gets you nowhere quick.
Yeah, and then once I got my belief back and I stopped playing the fucking victim, my life turned around. You know, so, you know, it's just really all you can do. I tell people every day, you know, just trying to appreciate life. You know what I mean? Just.
I think that's one of America's problems. Honestly, they gotten away from Judeo-Christian values.
Well, that's what people don't understand. This country was raised on Judeo-Christian values. Period.
110%.
There's a reason why on your money it says "In God We Trust," and the whole country has gone away from that. And the people are like, you see all these people on the far right and far left. They're both like this one guy who fucking hates liberals. He's far right. I fucking blah blah blah. I said, well, you're politically lining up with the far left who hates Israel, right? And like people like Bonomo, right? And so when like I said to him, I mean it was Dan Blitzerian, who's completely out of his fucking mind, by the way, right? I said to him, I said, I guess you're voting for Kamala then. I'm conservative. I'd never vote for her. Oh, why are you voting for Trump? Trump's more pro-Israel than you. Hate Israel and you hate Jewish people. I said you.
Yeah, I seen that in one of his interviews.
Oh, he's
like
completely out of his
anti-Israel.
mind. He's completely out of his mind, right? He's read bullshit that's not true about Jews, and so he's a complete anti-Semite. He's completely out of his fucking mind. I will never call him my friend again, and I feel sorry for him, you know. But like, you know, people that I just listen. You do what you want in your life, you know. It's like they were interviewing two people yesterday, right? And they were like, "I'm voting for Kamala. Why are you voting for Kamala?" "I don't know. My roommates told me to vote for Kamala."
There you go.
Then at the very end, they said, "Do you believe in God?" And both of them, they were both like 19. Both of them said no. That's what's wrong with the country. You don't need to go any further.
We're living in a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
Correct.
And that's why the world has went where it is, and we're in the state that we're in because people no longer fear God.
Correct.
And the Bible, the Torah, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord.
Correct. And that's and the truth of the matter is I know God exists. I don't need to preach it to anybody. I know for a fact God exists. And does that mean that I will discredit people that don't believe? Like my brother, I'm Jewish. My brother, he's a Jew for Jesus, and which is fine. You know, he tries to show me why Jesus was the Son of God, and I don't believe that. Okay, but that's the Jewish religion doesn't believe that. But that doesn't mean the thing is Jesus was a fucking Jew. Okay, and I never understood this. If Jesus was a Jew, and let's just say Jesus was the Son of God, right? Why do we have a new religion of Christianity? Why are we not, when he says follow my way, right? Well, you were Jewish, follow my way, you're the Son of God, that means God is Jewish. So I never understood that whole thing, and I still don't understand it. But you know, I
guess the key points there, just as a Christian,
right.
Not to make a whole long conversation of it,
maybe
but
you can answer it for me.
Jesus came to fulfill the law. As humans, we couldn't, not to abolish, but fulfill it, and then we're under new covenant through that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you've read into that or not.
No, and they said that because Jesus was supposedly the Messiah in Christianity, and he came in, and that's why. That's what you got. something about that, right? What you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what. Yeah. So like that. So then I try and listen. And listen, I'm not saying that my brother's not right. I'm not saying you're not right. You guys could 100% be right. You know, my brother says that he's going to show me and prove to me, and I'm very open to listening. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that are going to say, no, I'm Jewish, I don't want nothing to do with that, because that's people that don't listen to other people are people I feel sorry for. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, you know, when I say, as somebody who's on the right, anybody on the left comes up to you, you'll listen to what they have to say. But the people on the left, they won't listen. It's like, fuck
yeah,
you,
it's like
you're-
blasphemy to their ears.
Correct. And so, you know, it's like once, and again, I've said it many times to people, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And maybe, you know, religious-wise, between a Jew and a Christian, maybe if my brother does show me what he wants to show me, maybe I will see it, what he's saying. You know, I'm not saying I won't. You see what I'm saying? You know, but in life, I know for sure, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's what one of the biggest reasons why we're so divided is one side won't listen to others and the other side, you know. It is
Yes,
what it is.
absolutely. Like, I'm not an extreme conservative.
Right.
I lean right, I am conservative.
Me too.
But there's things that I lean left on.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
I'm-
I'm more of a moderate, to be honest with you.
Me too. And like I was talking with Daniel the other day, and we were going over like things that I'm very against the GOP about, you know, and things like I really do believe what I thought Elon Musk really hit the fucking abortion thing out of the park. I don't know if you heard that interview that when he was in.
I did not.
He was in Pennsylvania last week, and they asked him about it, and he says, "I believe abortion should be allowed until the fetus can survive outside of the body." Right.
I'm fine with that.
Right. So basically like 15, 16 weeks, right? Because they've had people survive up at 4 months, right? But many have survived at 5 months. And so I think he really answered the question very good, because somebody asked him, would you be interested in joining the pro-life movement? And he said, well, that's a really good question. He goes, and it's a very tough question to answer, because no matter how I answer it, I'm going to be attacked by either side. So that's
100%.
So he answered it, which I thought was amazing. I believe abortion should be allowed until the human can live outside the body. I think that's more than fair, you know. And what people on the left,
agree. There has to be some type of compromise.
right? And the people on the left, I mean, think about when Hillary ran in 2008. She said abortion should be rare, right? And now it's like when they attack Trump for saying late-term abortion, there's late-term abortion everywhere. Everywhere. You could walk in, literally, and I could prove it to people on this that listen to my podcast, right? We could call an abortion clinic, and you could say, I'm 7 months pregnant, I decided I don't want the baby. And they will say, come on in and we'll take care of it. And I could prove it to them.
They celebrate it.
They do. They celebrate it. And the thing is like, and again, I don't want to touch on this subject because it's really, really a subject to stay away from. But like Margaret Thatcher, whatever her name was, that created Planned Parenthood, she put those places in black areas so they could abort the black race. It's all to get rid of the black race. There's been like 10x more black babies aborted in the last 20 years than any other race, and they don't even know it. But that's just a fact.
There's a black conservative. His name's Jesse Lee Peterson. He touches on that in some of his interviews and stuff. He's pretty funny. I don't know if you've ever watched any of this shit.
Well, you'll have to. What's his name?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
On Twitter or X?
He's on. I always watch him on YouTube. I'm sure he probably has a Twitter. He's pretty popular.
I'll have Danny look it up. You get that name, Danny?
Something Peterson?
Jesse Lee Peterson. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, what most people don't understand, it's like, I'm not voting for Trump, okay? I'm voting for free speech. I'm voting for the Constitution. I am voting to get these fucking puppets out of office. I'm voting for. I'm voting for. I know what they want to do. They've told you what they want to do. You know? Did you see?
If people are dumb enough to see what's going on and be okay with it, then they deserve to go down with America with it. To be honest,
I agree, but most of them don't because
blind allegiance.
They're in a bubble. They're in a echo chamber that they don't want to come out of and listen to, because anybody I know that's been on the left that has gotten themselves out of the echo chamber are now pro-Trump, and it's crazy. You know, it's like I have a friend I don't want to name. He's a famous poker player, not super famous, but I owed him a little bit of money, so he called me yesterday, and I told him I sent him some Bitcoin, and we were talking, and 4 years ago he was so anti-Trump, and he said to me this. He said straight up, he goes, "She's so bad and so fake and so phony that I could never vote for her." And I'm like, wow.
Insulting. Yeah, it's super insulting.
Wow. And he says to me, he goes, "As much as I dislike Trump, his candor actually makes me laugh now. And I'm voting for him." And I'm just like, whoa. Like, this is my close friend that, we were always very close friends. Like, we never let politics get involved with us. But like I hadn't talked to him in about 2.5 months. And like, when he said this to me, I was just like, wow, we're gonna win.
People are waking up. And
I'm like, if somebody like him could see it, and somebody like Daniel could see it, I'm like, we're gonna win the election. There's just no way we're not gonna win the election. There's just no way. I mean,
it scares the shit out of me. The only thing I see is like the mass illegals that they brought in, outweighing, in the swing states is the only line of victory I see. But
Trump's the bottom line is Trump had 76 million in 2020. He needs 100 million. It's got to be too big to rig, and I think they're going to get 100 million. I think he's going to get 95 million votes. Now, will that be enough? I think so.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I mean, yeah, that's what I say. And I just bet it. I just bet 10,000 yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, God, why did I bet on this? I'm like,
what line did you get it at?
I laid one. I chopped the Pinnacle line. I laid $1.67, and
really?
And it's 180 at Pinnacle right now. But I just said to myself, like, this was stupid, right? Now I just realized too, right? So 3 days ago, this is how bad. That's how I know how corrupt the Democrats are. Through the Pentagon, they passed a law that said that they could, that the American military can attack American citizens. Now, why would they pass that 3 days ago? Unless they plan on
passed.
Yeah, in the Pentagon. Go look it up. This is a fact. RFK's been spreading it all day about. He said, "Go look it up," and I did. And like, the only reason why they would get that passed through the Pentagon 3 days ago through the presidency is if they plan on stealing the election, and people are going to go crazy, right?
Yeah, like if people revolt or whatever.
Revolt, right? They're not doing it for the left to revolt, even though I think the left would revolt, and there'd be worse than anything you've ever seen. But why else would they have passed
They've already gotten a taste of what they're capable of.
Yes. And so why else would they pass that? Go look it up, man. Go look it up. RFK had been talking about it all day, so I looked it up. And it's...
and all Kamala talks about is Trump turning the military on the American
people. Everything they say is what they want to do. You know that. Everything. You've been around long enough to know.
Ridiculous.
Whatever the right says is what the left plans on doing.
And it's funny, isn't the liberal stance supposed to be anti-government, but here they are censoring speech and all
Correct.
of this.
And anti-war, too. They're anti-war, but they're being brainwashed. They're anti... And the left was always anti-Big Pharma, right? Now, but they're all in bed with Big Pharma. They're all in bed with the military-industrial complex. And see, the people on the left that are still brainwashed, that haven't learned yet, they don't realize how their party has changed, People like Elon Musk did, people like RFK did, people like Tulsi Gabbard did. poker players, very famous poker players have, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to live in a world where one side of the equation is censoring America's free speech. Okay, nobody.
It's sickening, honestly.
If you do,
the truth is, look at. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're a Democrat and you're for the censorship of free speech, like what the Biden administration did on Twitter, okay, and the people that they had removed, which the Twitter files showed what they did and how they ruined people's lives with censorship. If you're for that, then you're not American. And that's what Elon Musk says. You know, he says, if you're pro-war, if you're anti-free speech, if you're anti-Second Amendment, you're not American. There's a reason why the First Amendment is free speech and the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. There's a reason that those are the first two amendments. You know? And so there's a lot of people on the left that don't understand what's going on, you know? And once they see it, they can't unsee it. And there's nobody in this that I know that's a true American that could say, well, I don't like what Trump says. Yeah, he should be taken off Twitter. Or I don't like what Mike Matusow says. He should be taken off YouTube, which I've had 2 strikes. I've had 2 strikes like many. How many strikes we got now? 0?
No, we're clean right now.
We're clean right now? Oh, we'll probably get a strike for this episode for sure. You know, but like they give you a strike if they don't like what you're saying, you know? And
absolutely.
And look what they're doing in Europe. They're fucking, if you like a Facebook post, they're coming to your house and arresting you. I mean, this is facts. This is not fucking bullshit. This is actually happening. Right. And people
2 weeks ago,
yeah,
there was a friend of mine who's a pastor, and they were having a religious debate, and I made a comment. The subject was the LGBT gays and whatnot, and I made a comment asking a question, and like the gays go to heaven or whatever, and that was considered hate speech along the lines of what I said, and it went against our community guidelines, and I was banned from chatting for 2 weeks.
Of course, that's just, dude. There's what people don't understand. There's no such thing as hate speech. Speech you disagree with is why we have the First Amendment. If everybody would agree on the same thing, we wouldn't need the First Amendment. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, how many times do you have an argument with a friend? Oh, I'm right about, no, you're right. No, you're wrong. Well, they want it where their side is true information and what we say is disinformation, or they disagree with it. And if they win this election, there will be no more free speech in the United States. We will become Europe.
Yeah,
we will become Canada. Look what they did in Canada, the truckers. They put them all in jail and took all their money out of their banks. Okay?
Sickening.
Just for fucking, because they didn't want they didn't want to be mandatory vaccine across state lines. Think about that. How could you be for that and call yourself an American or Canadian or anything? So this is what we're fighting. It's not about Trump. Do I wish we had a different candidate? Yeah, I do. I wish it was the guy from Florida or Vivek or anybody. But you know what? I loved RFK. I was literally thinking of voting for him when he was running on the other side, and everybody was like, "Why do you like RFK so much?" Because he tells it like it is, just like Trump. And now he's realized.
I like him and Vivek also. I would have voted for either of them. And
I have a lot of friends that would have voted for RFK. And then now, when RFK came and endorsed Trump, and he came to our side, and he's all in on our side. My friend Matt Brooks, he runs the Republican Jewish Coalition. He said to me, what's the enamor on the right with RFK when his policies are left? And I said, because he believes he believes you don't have to be vaccinated. He believes in free speech. He believes I didn't know that his father and his uncle, RFK and JFK, were said the exact same things that Trump says about the deep state and how corrupt the military industrial. I didn't know that because they were Democrats.
Maybe that's why he got killed.
Well, of course that's why he got killed. That's why they both got killed. And that's why they're going to try and take Trump out. What do you think they're pushing the fucking Hitler fucking narrative today? So some lunatic will try and take him out.
There you go.
You just hit it right on the nose, dude. And it's like, where the Democrats were the party of JFK and the party of RFK, they've come so far left. They're not the party of RFK and JFK are where the Republicans are now because Trump moved the GOP to the left. And you know what? I'm glad he did because you know what? There's no more extreme positions in the GOP platform. You see what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Like Trump said, the pro-life people went crazy when he talked about the abortion issue, and what he said is right. He goes, you could be pro-life and lose election after election, or you could compromise. And he's right. I mean, tell me he's not right. Like I said, I'm pro-life too, but I think 15 weeks is plenty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've got to have a compromise. You can't make the world better if you think
If
that
people
every
would
position on the
themselves from looking at the individual and just look at the policy and look at what's best for America as a whole, it's
Correct.
black and white. But
right. If you just looked at what Trump's running on and what he says, and not look at the man, he'd win like Reagan did in '84. But a lot of that's his fault too. He wants to be funny. He wants to be a comedian. He wants to make everybody laugh, and he says the most stupidest shit half the time. But
I like that about him, to be honest with you.
I do too. I missed the 3:15 a.m. West Coast fucking sitting on the shitter tweets. Okay, to me, that made my day. That made me happy. Like the things he would say just made me laugh, and to start off the day as a human being and laughing, I think that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%.
Like anytime, and the woke people are trying to get rid of comedy, and I go to the Comedy Store, I go to South Point, the Dirty at 12:30 every Friday, and it's fucking dirty as fuck, it's nasty as fuck, and it's funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's really good to laugh. You should
be able to laugh at yourself.
What did the guy on ESPN that died, Joe, the guy that used to be the coach of the North Carolina, Valvano. What did Joe Valvano say? Everybody should laugh, everybody should cry, and at least once a day. You know what I'm saying? And what was it? If you laugh, cry, and there's one other, your life will be happy.
Yeah, I don't know about crying every day, but
I'm not saying
laughing.
I'm not saying about crying. I think I think if you cry once a week, it's good. It's like we're emotional beings. You can't let the internet take over your life. You can't let what you see and just take over your life. Like I remember when the politics consumed me in 2016, and I was like way 80 degrees right. And Daniel was 80 degrees left, and we went from best friends to mortal enemies, But and I have other friends that just got into politics, right? And a couple of them on the far I've gone like way left, all in on Kamala, and a couple of them are same with gone all in on Trump. And I'm telling them both, I'm like, let yourself breathe. It's very unhealthy to post over and over. You're just going to drive yourself nuts, It's like we have one vote, and whatever happens, happens. There's nothing. It is, it is what it is. I've always said they'll never hand power back to Trump, and I went and bet him yesterday like an idiot. So
I surely hope you win.
I hope I win too. Here's the thing: Phil bet me Trump was going to run again and he was going to win, and I said you got to bet, and I gave him 3-1 for 5,000. That was in 2021. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to run again, because if he truly, truly believed that it was stolen from him, which I do, and then how could you run again? Because won't they just steal it again? Right? So I said, there's no way. His ego's too big. He'll never let himself lose twice. Well, should have figured that. Maybe he doesn't believe.
Up 15K.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't believe that it was stolen in 2020. Maybe he just believes. Maybe he, because I don't know, man. And again, he was not ready to run against Kamala, that's what set him back. That's what let her get even with him in the polls, But now he's figured out how to run against her, and he's been staying on message, And
I don't think it was so much of what he did, but what she did to herself.
Oh,
that,
she destroyed herself the last 2 weeks.
Allowed America to see what she is and what type of individual she is and how she's a fucking sellout and panders.
Well, yeah, all she does is pander and repeat what they tell her to repeat. She has zero thoughts of her own. Like, can you imagine? I've only been political since 2016. This is the first person I've seen in politics, which I knew was going to happen because I knew that she was so awful, that doesn't have a thought of her own. Like, everything she just says, she just repeats and repeats. If you saw, what's his name? I was watching Fox News at night yesterday, the pollster, Frank Luntz, right? And he hates Trump. He's a fucking never Trumper. He hates Trump's guts. And he was in there saying that the most effective ad against Kamala right now is he's running an ad of her saying, "I'm from a middle class family. I'm from a," and she just, and he pipes it in over and over and over from all of her interviews, right? And she's showing how fake and phony she is. And Frank Lutz says, people are not stupid. People see somebody that can't think for themselves, and they're gonna go with somebody that they can relate with. You know, he said the McDonald's
talking off of a teleprompter, she could say 300 fucking words and they make zero sense. She talks in circles.
In circles, the teleprompter's
can't make
off.
A fucking statement, and she just buried herself the other day when somebody said Jesus is King or Jesus is Lord and told them they're at the wrong rally.
Yeah, because she's too stupid, you know. And so even like today, she took a day off yesterday so she could come out today in front of the seal of the President of the United States and call Trump Hitler. Right? That's what she took off. And if you watch her, she's reading off what she's told to say, and she just keeps looking up, down, up, down. She can't even think for herself at all. Everything they do is a script. Like when Barry, I wasn't political, but when Barack Obama ran, like he went around and was able to relate with the people. Like, she can't talk to anybody. And I don't know, man. It's like, you know, but it's truth that he did say one thing, like Frank Luntz did say one thing, and he's right. Is like, we look at her and we're like, how could anybody vote for her? There's no way we could lose. And they look at Trump, how could anybody vote for him? There's no way we lose. So, like, one side's going to be in complete shock when they lose. You know, I hope it's not us. That's all. You know.
Well, it was good talking to you,
too,
Mike. Best of luck with your post and everything.
You got it.
Tell Danny I said to be safe.
Did you see the funniest joke of the week? I have to repeat it because it's too funny.
What is that?
They're like, Trump went to McDonald's and worked at shift at McDonald's, and now Kamala got jealous, so she's gonna go work at Five Guys.
That's where she belongs.
Five Guys, because she's fucking slept her way to the top. I just started laughing so hard.
That's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. All right, man. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Bye.
All right, later. All right, guys. Let's go Dodgers. I bet the Dodgers to win the World Series. I think I laid $1.25 to win $5K. I'm going to be going to Game 6 and 7. We're going to do a podcast next week before the election. Hopefully we're going to get a special guest on here before the election. And let's go Dodgers. We got game of the week tomorrow night. I got the Rams plus 3.5. It's 3. I would take 3 also. And I got Cleveland, and I laid the wood with Denver. Have a good one. See you guys next week on the Mouthpiece.
The Mouthpiece.